everybody. Good morning. How are you doing? It is Friday, September 19th, 2025. What's new and exciting, y'all? How is everything going? I am wishing that I am audible and visible. As you know, technology is a friend or foe depending on the day, but I am changing my channel and bringing out the positive frequency and resources and energy to not only start off the day, but start off the weekend with goodness and positivity. It's been a roller coaster week of emotions as always, and just like feelings and all the things. And so when we start the day as the sun is rising, want to keep in mindset what is the tone we're setting for the day. You know, I start my day every day with a gratitude attitude and just trust that everything is going to fall into place. And that being said, just have to make sure that I'm doing my part in maintaining it that way. Anybody recently feeling a roller coaster of emotion? Y'all are plugged in, so y'all are probably feeling it more than I do. But for me, it's just a lot of energy that's going around, you know, frustration, anxiety, anger, giving up mentality, judgment mentality, conformity mentality, and control. Granted, those are all emotions and feelings, but as mentioned in the description, did you know that most of us, a good portion of us, at any given moment has taken their emotions and react to them as opposed to respond? And you know, what happens is when we react to our emotions then become our masters. You know, when I get frustrated with a family member, sad with a loved one, happy with a friend, you know, those are all kind of emotions, but we dismiss the fact that we have the chance at any given moment and the choice to make those emotions become our messengers. You say, Andrea, how do you do that? Well, there's a few key points that I talk about, I coach about, and I wrote about on how to do this. First is being aware of the emotions. You know, we get frustrated when people tell us what to do, how we're acting, what's wrong with us, critiques, assessments, reprimands. We get excited when we get praise, comfort, terms of endearment, emotional express. But what happens is we 9 times out of 10 dismiss the emotions that are actually our messengers. One of the things that I'm dealing with is that of knowing which is a message and which is attempting to be a master, that I give it energy and the power to do so. And we do that by reaction. When somebody says something we don't like, somebody says something that we're not happy about, where somebody picks up on our flaws, number one, we must be mindful of the source. Is that how they are? Is that their personality? Not that it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but knowing the source. Secondly, we have to be mindful of our reaction, you know, how we receive the message, the emotion, you know, label our emotions, now you obtain power once you label it. Okay, that individual, when they talk to me, they're usually critiquing something or focusing on what I didn't do. So I'm labeling that situation at hand, that emotion tends to be my master. Label it. No, they're just pointing out, regardless of how it's presented, positively or negatively, they're kind of giving the notion of this is what is happening right now. As receivers, we're supposed to be mindful of the message. How is it received? Are they doing this at the kindness of their heart? Are they doing this to have power or control over us? Are they doing this actually innocently to just kind of put you in check? But again, it's in the moment, in the tone, in the presentation, in the way that it's delivered that makes a world of difference. And this is something that my parents always taught me. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Anybody hear that before? You know, it's like, give you an example, something of a critique or something of a concern. You know what? You were supposed to take out the garbage, but you didn't. Can you do so? You didn't take out the garbage. Can you do so? You didn't take out the garbage. Can you do so? It's kind of days. I'm back. It's also in the fact of body language, those nonverbal cues. Are you standing there with your hands on your waist like a authoritative figure, a soldier with your hands on your hips? Are you standing there with your arms folded? Are you standing there kind of tilting your head in an attitude manner? So being mindful of that, not only being aware of what the emotion is at the time, labeling the emotion, and then choosing to either react or respond. How do we do that? We can either take that 3 seconds. You know what? When you said that, I appreciate it. I just didn't like the approach. Or you can just battle it out and cause conflict and chaos. And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't stop there. And if you have individuals who are stubborn, it goes on for an extended period of time where it really shouldn't need to be. Finally, is making the choice to make these emotions now going forward your messengers or your masters. We talk about the rippling effect of anything in life. Well, the same applies with our emotions. Are we going to, if you have a bad day in the morning, getting prepared for your day, whether that's traffic, whether that's, I don't know, squeezing out too much toothpaste, whether it's the weather, whether it's the food, whether it's an exchange between someone in your home, and it's negative, are you going to allow that to control you and carry out through the rest of your day? Or are you able to say, face value, you know what? It just happened. Life happens. I'm over it. I'm going to let it go and I'm going to change my channel and move forward. It's not easy. It's something that is going to take a long time to master. It's going to take a long time to put into effect, but it's just something we need to do. It's life is too short, and we have to be mindful of what we can control and what we can't control. What we can control is our reaction, our response, our thoughts in our mind, what we want to focus on. What we can't control is other individuals. No matter how hard we think we can, no matter what age, what relationship, it's just not feasible unless you're a parent of an infant. But even that is not, 100%. So just be cognizant as you go about your day today and something good happens, hold on to that, embrace that, and allow your energy and your frequency to ruminate with that and be, like I said, toxic with love and not infectious with hate, And the world is crazy. I get it. Life is difficult. Things are not what they seem or what they used to be, but we just have to make the best of it. I tell my family this, and I'm really telling myself this today. This week has been crazy for me on so many levels than you can imagine. And what I'm learning and applying is why I'm getting on here too, is that I have to be aware of my emotions. I have to be aware of my emotions. Yes, am I a woman? Yes. Hormones? Yes. Life? Yes. Just being a human being? Yes, I have to be aware of them. But secondly, I have to, when they come about, I have to say, okay, this is something good. I want to continue this emotion. I want to bring this emotion to life. I want to bring this emotion to everyone that I'm around, surrounded by. And I want to adapt. You're right. Like yesterday, it was crazy. I was out and about in town, and I had to run an errand, and it was crazy. I was, because in the beginning of the week, I talked about customer service, and shout out to the guy working at the gas pump. He was just, hey, how you doing? And I was like, I'm good. How are you? And he's like, hey, you know what? I just ordered, some pizza, for the evening shift. And I was just wondering, I have a lot. It's just me, and he, said it to the other customer, and he's like, you up for some? And I did eat yesterday a lot, but I at that time I was like, all right, pizza sounds cool. And he distributed 2 slices to me and the other customer. It was just so sweet. It was so generous, authentic. He didn't have to share his dinner. You know what I mean? He was in good shape. And it was just that at the kindness that I wanted to continue and bring home. You know what I mean? And so labeling, this is good. This is good when somebody does something unexpectedly out of kindness. Be kind. That's all it takes. So I labeled it. I was like, all right, let me bring this home. Let me share it with my family and let them know in the home what had happened. And then I chose to, rather than react, being like, nah, I'm good, or no, like, what are you doing? I said, wow, that was very nice of you. Are you sure? You good? And he's like, yeah, man, I got a whole pizza. I'm not going to finish it all by myself. What have you. And, so I chose to respond. And then what I did was I was like, okay, so the takeaway message of that was, you know, be kind, be generous, take care of yourself first, which he was doing, and then, pour onto others. And it was just cool. It's just those simple things that we take for granted, that if we just make minor shifts and adjustments, we have that ability to do that to others. And then later on, there was an experience where I was preparing for, I had to, go run some errands. I'm just hearing a lot of noises, so bear with me. And so off, and I was getting frustrated. I'm back, and I was getting agitated, and it just kept causing more interruptions, more aggravations, more frustration, more, mistakes. And I was just like, well, why am I gonna do that? Like, why am I gonna let this take control of me? And it did do a ripple effect a little bit going forward. And so we just have to be mindful of our emotions, because again, as I mentioned yesterday, our mind is the most powerful muscle you will have and work with, because you can't physically see it like a physical muscle, your calves, or your biceps or your stomach. You can't see the physical results of working it. But if you're not in tune to it, it can either thrive or go on survival mode, and that's what you don't want. So just be mindful as you go about your day today, as you go about the weekend, and as we start another week of, are my emotions going to be my masters, or are they going to be my messengers? And when the emotions arise, is it going to give me emotional intelligence, or is it going to give me emotional damage? Intelligence is being mindful on how to balance and coordinate your emotions at any given time. Again, this is over a period of time. So this is not going to happen overnight. So don't think that it's just an on switch, because it's as human beings, we have a lot going on, external influences, social media, all the things at our fingertips that we just haven't had. We aren't equipped to have access to 8 billion people all over the world, at any given moment. Social media, constant, 24/7, fake news, the whole kit and caboodle. So be mindful and know what you're putting into your headspace, whether that's people, relationships, your jobs, your tasks, your environment. I talk about that in my book, Create Your Own Environment, in one of the chapters in Victim to Victorious. Be mindful. The more opportunity and the more time that you're aware of your emotions, the likely you are able to catch it beforehand. Some red flags are, I can give you an example. There are physical red flags. I know for me personally, if something is happening and someone is saying something or doing something, that the immediate physical flags is all of a sudden from like right about here all the way up to my ears, my body temperature will rise and I can literally feel the heat escalating and my ears will get extremely hot. When I get emotional, I know all of a sudden that I experience like a golf ball in my throat. I get that nervousness of on the verge of crying, because the ability that I've tapped into my empathetic self and really connect with the individual. Like, for example, if I'm watching something or reading an article of something and it's emotional, I will actually be able to know how to, and at times, immerse myself in that character or that situation. There they go again. I swear, they're scaring. So that's the sensitive component. And then when I get, so when I get angered or frustrated, the body temperature rises and my ears get red and very hot. On the emotional, sensitive, sad side, or what have you, all of a sudden I get like really my muscles like relax, and then I get choked up, is what they call. I get like a golf ball like feeling in my throat, where I'm doing everything in my power to hold back tears and crying. And then on the happiness, as everybody has seen, or if you've connected with me, you've seen what happens is I literally get goosebumps. I get goosebumps like I'm thinking about it right now, like on my arms and the back of my neck. So these are actually chemical, physical signs that tap into my emotions, that if I get lost in translation, I'm able to say, wait, you know what? What is the physical or chemical response that's happening, so I can address it before my mind actually gives it a label. So those are a few key tidbits on how to allow your emotions to be your messengers as opposed to your masters. And for those who journal or log or track their progress of their day or their life, you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see the red flags or the mile markers or the habitual rituals that occur when you are doing such things, because you're able to say, okay, this makes me this way. This person, when I'm around them, makes me this way. When I'm in this type of environment or talking about this type of situation or topic, this is what happens. And the longer that you're able to label it, acknowledge it, and then say, is this helpful or hurtful? And then also put into the fact where you are going to choose to react or respond, then you can really say, okay, now this is a message. Even though they're yelling at me and getting angered, what is the subliminal or underlying message that they're portraying. Take all the emotions out, take all the flashy or negative or positive words, and what is the actual underlying message that is being conveyed, and allow yourself to receive that. And when you're able to receive that, that's when you can respond as opposed to react. And that's really what I've got for you today based on what's going on. Like I said, I kind of bring it from a personal experience of what's going on. Again, these are just kind of daily lives so you can get a better understanding. Like I said, I'm really authentic and I want to give what I can to people in real time and real experiences. There's no filter, there's no AI, artificial intelligence, but there is AI, authentically integral, me being me. So, that being said, I want to wish each and every one of you an amazing Friday. I want to shout out to you guys to have an amazing and safe weekend. I appreciate you. We are coming up on the third week of September. I still can't believe how fast time is going. Like I said, time means nothing to me. So we got one more week and then 3 days of the following week. And then we're in October, y'all. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonates with you or someone you know, share it out. This is also going to be housed after that 30-day that they play with live stream will be housed on my YouTube channel, which is Andrea Mason from Victim to Victorious. You can check out, there's a whole bunch of videos, over 1,500 videos there. And I look forward to connecting with you. If you need some support on any of the topics I speak about, reach out to me. Connect with me. I'll shoot my contact information. I have a Calendly link. You can schedule a call or you can find my social media handles. It'll be under the umbrella of Linktree. It's just all housed in one place. And I appreciate your support. On that note, be safe, be well. Always remember to put yourself first and foremost. It is important for you to do that. It is important that you know that when you say yes to yourself, first is the best version and day that you can give to others. And so that's really where we're at. It's important. So a few things that we've covered over the course of time, like I said, is learning habitual rituals. We're always trying something new, step outside your comfort zone, quiet the noise, unplug, even if it's for an hour. I'm unplugged since 2015, but unplug for an hour and come back and see what's going on. And then realizing sometimes it's just because you want to be nice, just because you want to do something new, do it. You don't have to give an explanation to anyone. The next level of success we talked about was in the follow-ups. What you need to know is that sometimes the truth hurts, but it is necessary. And always look for those wake-up calls. I don't know what that is. If it's a frog, if it's a bird, if it's a chipmunk, something is going wild up here. And remember, take care of you. Say yes to you before saying yes to others. And today, make sure that your emotions are not your masters, that they are your messengers. My name is Andrea Mason, your first choice, your global voice, alumna of Les Brown, and the CEO of Press Play, Plan Life According to You, LLC, global ambassador, legacy and lifestyle consultant, along with your personal accountability coach. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Follow me on all social media platforms. Why? It's free. Why not? You have something to tune into, something to change it up and get real, authentic content. Nothing fabricated, nothing scripted. Yeah, I'll see my work. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful day. Be well.